Hi Finxters, and welcome to today's video. Today from my home, this is my work environment. I work from home, as you know, and I will address a topic that is very interesting. So I found a research report from McKinsey with the title Independent Work, Choice, Necessity and the Gig Economy. And I think this report will be very valuable for you, and that's why I decided to shoot a small video summary, give you some statistics and an overall feeling of how the gig economy will develop in the next decades. This video will probably be a bit longer, but yeah, let's see how long it takes. Okay, the report starts with the statement: anyone who has ever felt trapped in a cubicle, annoyed by a micromanaging boss, or fed up with office politics has probably dreamed of leaving it all behind and going it alone. Okay, so this is, I think it's a very powerful statement, and it opens up the line. It draws the reader in, and it shows the main motivation many employees have to switch to become a self-employed person. But okay, let's look at some statistics. Now, maybe let's start with the definition. So what is an independent worker? So the report is about independent worker. What is the definition of this? And they define it as using three criteria. So the first is he or she has a high degree of autonomy. Second is he is paid by gigs or sales. Okay, so also like if you are an Uber driver or so, then you are also paid according to the sales you generate, and you are paid by gig. For example, if you work as a freelance developer, coder on Upwork, then you are paid by gig, and you have a short-term relationship between worker and clients. Okay, so you don't have a long-term contract. Like an employee is just a long-term contract, if you want, between the employer and the employee, and the gig economy now focuses on this more shorter term, so a few months to a few days to a few hours contracts. And in 2015, 162 million individuals. So this is 162 million individuals in the US and in Europe match this criteria. So the market is basically, it's already massive. It's already a very large market of independent workers. There are two. There are two types of independent work you can do. You can be either do it as a primary means of income, or you can do it as a supplementary income, and it's like 50-50 the division of this. So from this 162 million people, about 80 million are doing their independent work as a supplementary income, and 80 million as the primary means to generate income. So let's dive into some statistics. 20 to 30% of the working age population in the United States engage in independent work. So this is really like 1/3 of the working age population almost are independent workers. So it's already a huge part of our economy. And the Freelancer Union estimates that 55 million Americans, which is 22% of the working age population, are freelancers or self-employed in their primary or secondary jobs. So this just supports the thesis that a large fraction of the economy is already built on the shoulders of freelancers and self-employed people. Okay, but this sounds very negative. So let's dive into other statistics. Later I will also show you statistics about the health benefits and work benefit and work environment, the positive work environment perceived by these self-employed people. I mean, as you would guess, self-employed people are usually very happy where they work because they can decide where they work. So there are some very interesting facts that show that self-employed people are very happy with their environment if they choose to be. If they are out of necessity, then they tend to be unhappy. But if you are an employee out of necessity and you didn't choose actively to pursue this job because you're just there because you need the money, then you are also unhappy. And if you compare these self-employed people who have chosen to be self-employed and employees who have chosen to be employees, then self-employed tend to be happier and more satisfied with their work environment. But we will dive into these statistics in a moment. So let's first have a few meta facts about the freelancing market. So 15% of the workers or more use online platforms such as Uber or Upwork. 30% are free agents who actively choose independent work and derive their primary income from it. So 30% actively choose. 30% of those are use it as a primary income of the independent workers. So it's their main source of income, and they have decided actively to do this. They don't do it out of necessity. This is like the gold star. You want to go there because those people are the happiest and they are the most satisfied with their environment. And so what else? What some interesting statistics? So 75% of all independent earners are medium to high income households. So only 25% are actually low income earners. This is also interesting. An interesting fact I also found is that 1 in 6 workers in traditional jobs would like to become primary independent earner. Okay, so they may already earn some money as a secondary means of income, but or they don't earn anything. But 1 in 6 actually want to become a primary independent earner. These are millions. We are talking like the potential is huge. So, but also 50 million Americans and Europeans are independent out of necessity. So they are independent. They would like to have a job, but they don't find any. But for every primary independent worker who would prefer a traditional job, they exist. More than 2 traditional workers hope to shift in the opposite direction. So we have 2 employees who want to become a self-employed person for each self-employed person who wants to become an employee. This indicates, so there's a shift towards self-employed, there's a drive towards self-employed. This indicates that that the people who are actually self-employed tend to be happier with their self-employment than the employees. So they have a huge like drive towards self-employment, and the drive even persists if you ask the self-employed people themselves. Okay, then also free agents have an average overall satisfaction rating of 4.9, and this is the highest of any group compared to a 4.6 average rating for those in traditional jobs by choice. So this result holds against any group, income group, age groups, and freedom itself is of real value for free agents. So if everyone had the opportunity to pursue their preferred working style, now this is an interesting fact. Now listen to this carefully. If everyone had the opportunity to pursue their preferred working style, roughly 40 to 50% of the working age population in the US and the European Union would be independent. So this is like half of the working population would be independent if they could choose their preferred working style. So I think it's a huge fact. So some interesting quotes were from the report were the following. So I will just go over them. Those who do independent work by choice, free agents and casual earners report greater satisfaction with their work lives than those who do it out of necessity, which are reluctant and financially strapped. A finding that holds across countries, age, income and education. Okay, and interestingly, independent workers are more satisfied with their jobs than employees, even if you compare both groups who choose their professions. Okay, free agents report even higher levels of satisfaction than those in traditional jobs by choice. So let's dive into these happiness results I found. So you can click the study. I will give a link in the description below, or you can check out the article where I summarize all the points. I will also embed this video in this article, so that you can watch the video by reading over the article. And so these are the results. Let's dive into some happiness results. And these are really, I think, groundbreaking. Independence workers love the topics in their work more than employees. Independence workers are more satisfied with their work life overall than employees. So they are also more satisfied with the number of hours worked than employees. And this is like a common myth, is that self-employed people work more and they are always working and so on, but this is not the case actually. Employed persons are less satisfied with their work hours than self-employed persons. So this is like counterintuitive, and I think it debunks the myth that self-employed people have to work more and are unhappy regarding their working hours. Independent workers feel more independent and self-reliant than employees. They feel more empowered than employees. They are more satisfied with the creativity they can express in their job than employees. They love to be able to choose the working hours and the flexibility they have. And also an interesting fact, this is also a myth that employees can learn and grow more because companies will pay some courses or so for employees, but this is not the case. So actually independent workers are more satisfied with their opportunities to learn and grow compared to employees. And like, what is the reason for this? I mean, you can see it here. I'm self-employed and I am just reading books, as many books as I want. So I spend maybe 2 to 3 hours per day just reading books and reading stuff I'm interested in. So I have the freedom, I have the flexibility of time, and this ultimately makes me more productive because I increase my skills. So this is like, it's reading books isn't just an investment. I read coding books, business books, and all kinds of books. And of course, I feel satisfied with my opportunities to learn and grow because I have the time, I have the flexibility to learn. Like there's no boss who want me to produce and who focuses only on the short-term output. I can focus on the long-term. Learning is long-term focus. So if you are self-employed, then of course you can take a long-term perspective. Independent workers are more flexible than employees, and they are more satisfied with their flexibility. They are more satisfied with the recognition they receive. And this is it's only one bullet point in the list, and it doesn't seem important, but it is important. I mean, recognition is really it's critical for your happiness, your overall happiness, and sense of purpose in life, that you get recognized for the work you do. And as an employee, often you don't get recognized. So you do some work, and then your boss. So if the work is bad, then you get blamed. If the work is good, then your boss takes the takes over, and your boss gets promoted for your great work. It's like this. So you don't get recognized usually if you are an employee. I mean, there are some jobs, of course, that are where you get recognized and where you can work very independently and so on, but many employees are actually not satisfied in this dimension. And then also independent workers are more satisfied with their income. So this is also of course a choice. So on average, independent workers earn more objectively, and they are more satisfied with their income. And then there's also the myth that independent workers feel a lack of stability and they are less satisfied with their benefits they receive from work. And you may think this is true, but actually it's statistically not significant. So they are equally satisfied with the benefits and the sense of security than employees. This is very counterintuitive, because you may think, okay, what kind of benefits do you get even as a self-employed person? But I mean, you have some benefits, you have some tax advantages and so on, and you usually have a higher income as a self-employed person. So of course you are also like satisfied with this. You are not. I mean, of course, as an employee, it's nice to have benefits and to have health insurance and so, but if your income is larger and you have some tax benefits, then overall it's like evens out. So it's not statistically significant. It's not different in a statistically significant way. So even in these points, which usually are assumed to be dominantly advantages of employees, does this even make sense? So even in this dimension, that seems to be the employee, like a big advantage of employees, self-employed people don't perceive it that way. So if you so they are equally satisfied with their income and their benefits and their job security, okay, because they have control over their income. I mean, if you lose your job as an employee, you cannot control it. I mean, just the company gets bust because maybe the boss or your boss, the boss of your boss, also they did some decisions to that harm the company, and thousands of employees must suffer the consequences of these decisions. So you don't have any control about these types of decisions. You just work for some investors, basically. So all the profit goes to the investors of your company where you work, if you are an employed person. But if you are self-employed, you are your own investor, if you want. So all the benefits go into your own pocket. Yeah. So therefore, of course, you are also satisfied with in this regard. Okay, so that's it. That's it in the video. So this is a summary of the McKinsey study. You can find the article and the link to the sources in the video description below. And yeah, to summarize everything, independent workers are happier, more satisfied with their work, enjoy their topics on which they work more, feel more empowered and self-reliant, are more flexible, spend more time with their families and friends, and they also earn more and receive more recognition. Many independent workers do some freelancing gigs on the side, such as solving IT problems and writing code for clients. And this helps them learn and grow and getting paid for learning and growing. And if you want to join like the upcoming disruption of the online freelancing market, then check out my free webinar, How to Build Your High Income Skill Python Programming. So this is now being an independent worker in the programming space. And I show you how I did it, what I am doing, and what was my path from a doctoral researcher to a self-employed coder and an online coding business owner. And also check out my Python Freelancer course. I will also give links in the description below. Okay, thanks for watching and see you in the next video. Bye.